All right. We are, let me look real quick, 3.5 miles in, 3.43, who's counting, to our morning 6-mile run. We're on a little bit off-road right here, go out and back. I wanted to talk about ordinary Zen, the 2 different meanings, and then doping control. I guess it's Challenge Roth, and the little controversy. Come on, let's go. And there was something else. I'll remember what it is. I always do. Oh, by the way, I'm wearing my Ultra Escalantes, which are like 0 drop, like the closest thing to barefoot running, and still having protection on your feet. It's pretty great. I like it a lot. There's 2 types of ordinary Zen. There's the obvious type, where you just practice Zen, no big deal. The tongue-in-cheek is Zen is all about nothing. And when you finally get it, you learn to forget about yourself. Kind of like one level. There's a rabbit. Big boy. You have this feeling of like you can do so much more, because there are little things about yourself holding you back because you've forgotten about yourself. But then the actual real level to get to, we do a turnaround right about here. Oh, you gotta leave the driveway alone. Let's take a drink of water while we're there. Is you've reached true transcendence when you forgetting about yourself, or it's not even a thing, but you even think about, especially mentioning to others about yourself. Okay, what do you want? You want to check out a sniff? Okay. Oh, their trash probably smells really good. And then I came across this other definition of ordinary Zen, which I thought was really cool, that really works for me. And Zen is like full of all kinds of lessons and practices and stuff, and it doesn't work, all of it doesn't work for everybody, you know what I mean? So like some of it you need, some of it you don't need, you know? Some of it you don't get yet and you get later on. So now is not the right time. It's starting to rain. But one version of it that really rang true with me has to be the practice, because Zen is all about practicing stuff. And through practice, you get a better grasp on yourself and your world. And then when things get real, you've already practiced the tools. But being ordinary really rang true with me, because I thought about it for a little bit. And I was like, I like this. This has like this calming effect on me. Just be ordinary. Don't try to be special. And then a little back up, you know, it's like you're always in competition with others at work, if you're on a team. or with yourself in a race, or the amount of things that you perceive that you're in competition with is really just, and traffic trying to merge, you know. That's actually when I used it yesterday. It was a little chaotic trying to merge with traffic, and I was like, just be an ordinary person. And then I thought, why does this work so well for me right now, where I really enjoy this, and it has the effect that I was surprised with how much I enjoyed it. And immediately I start thinking, oh, it's because you think you're special. And then I'm like, no, I definitely do not think I'm special. I remember I didn't even think I was special, but when I was a really good swimmer and I was getting close to like Olympic trials time in the freestyle, and then I realized that 1 second difference, you know, of being able to swim the 100 and be picked at to go to the Olympics, for example. The number of people that are in that 1 second gap is probably in the thousands. And I was already starting to get shoulder injuries. Yeah, so. And that was like the only thing I was good at. So you occasionally run across people, even if you are smart and accomplished, oh my God, look how close it is, that just are operating at another level than you, either through better training or resources that they grew up with, or genetic gift, luck, money. You know, things aren't really up to you, or they're just wired better for some things. My point being is you think you're special until you get out in the real world and you start screwing up and you realize you don't have your shit together at all. Come on, we're going this way. We can walk for a second, take a sip of fuel and water. Come on, let's go this way. He wants to go that way. You're gonna get hit if you stay out there in the street. River, no. Come on. Me slowing down is not a license to take off. No. River. I'm gonna lock the leash so he can't go too far. There we go. Okay, let's go this way. Come on. Come on, we gotta talk. Come on. Okay, come on. Oh. So I'm like, if I enjoy being ordinary or thinking about trying to be ordinary, but not to undo thinking that you're special, then what is it? And then, as I tend to do, I overthink things, and finally I got down to anxiety. There you go. There was also some rabbits over there you want to check out. Come on, let's go. And society, which I'll talk about with the drug testing and stuff as well, it's kind of related, has just filled us full of anxiety, performance anxiety of sorts. It looks flat on y'all's screen, but this is a decent hill. And I biked last night, so we can take it easy. And so, see, I knew you wanted to be on this side. Unless you want to miss that rabbit. We're wanting to make sure that we're seen as succeeding, and to make sure other people know, because so much depends on it. That you're seen as one of the best, because that's how resources are doled out. Everything, paychecks, health insurance in America, food, a mate. Look at that. I'm gonna grab some water right here. And then when I came to that conclusion, I was like, oh, look at sunrise. I was like, that's exactly where I'm at. Is if you're competitive, then you have anxiety. That's what makes you competitive, probably, is your anxiety that's built in. And then, come on, let's go. Starting to rain. Let's go. We gotta go about a mile this way, and we're done. Well, then we gotta turn. So it's nice to remind yourself that in the end, everything works out. You're not that big of a deal. Not everything is a competition. A really good example is when you do a bike ride with friends. As a coach, one thing I tell people, if they're trying to improve, is to not ride with their friends too much. Only ride with your friends if you're doing a hard workout, like it's on your calendar. Because no race numbers or anything, you'll start pushing each other. I remember I was doing some Grand Fondos, and they were for charity. And the joke in our family was, it's not a race. And I was like, well, there's numbers. As soon as there's race numbers, it's a race. That's why they're called race numbers. Anyway, so try it. Try being ordinary. Remind yourself to be ordinary whenever you're getting stressed. And not everybody's interested in all your drama and your full story. So what it does is it helps you cut down on that. Like right now, I've got to make a list of stuff for work, a lot of stuff. And I'm like, well, the tendency is to be like, I got to list all this stuff. And it's like, no, we're gonna cut down on the things and simplify. And it's nice. It's like lightning, not lightning bolt lightning, but like light on your feet. It feels lighter to not be as concerned with all that. And then actually what happens is the person reading that list gets more out of it because it's simpler and it's, you know, it's like an instruction manual. You want a tiny font with 50 pages, or do you want like 4 pages or 3 pages of how to do something with bullet points, you know? All right, let's talk about this doping and Roth. I remember the other thing. The grading system, the new ranking system for people to qualify for Kona is pretty interesting. Ironman's introduced something where it's completely overhauled, and it's like, no, you haven't. You've changed like one little thing. So it's not a complete overhaul. But we'll get to that in a second. There is a press release that Roth, I believe it's Challenge Roth, which is not Ironman, is almost done. Going to do a bunch of doping testing for the age groupers, not just the pros, but the age groupers. No, and there's all this kerfuffle about it, to use a fancy term. And people lose sight of the big picture. Sure, come on. He's so used to us going this other way. He's like determined to go this other way. You got to get over this route. When we do our turnaround, watch. He'll be like a freaking freight train and not stop at all. He's eyeballing that way because he's used to it now. Come on. So I noticed a few years back when I was doing Ironman Texas and I was racking my bike in the transition zone, walking my bike over transition zone the day before the race, for a packet pickup, whatever, 2 days before the race, just billboards for got low T, we'll give you testosterone. And I was like, oh no, oh crap. Because what that is you're advertising stuff to people. You're pushing stuff on people. Come on, bro, let's go. We're very, very close. We got to go to that. We got to go 2 intersections up. Come on, let's go. Come on. Maybe we'll see a cow or something. We're so close to turning around. Nope. Almost. Because it's non-regulated, and I'm sure it makes you feel better, but what happens with stuff like, all kinds of stuff like this, is they sell stuff to people that don't really need it or are taking it so they don't age like a normal person. And it gets really sticky situation, an argument, because people say, well, I want to age better. All these 30, 40, 50-year-olds. And I got into a little back and forth with somebody about it. Okay, this is where we're going to turn out. No. We're going to wait for this one car to go. The thing is no one's stopping you from taking that stuff to make you feel better. I have several friends, because I'm in my 50s, that have started taking testosterone. They went in and got tested, and they got low T and all this stuff. And 2 of them are former Ironmans. They're not racing right now. All right, this is it, dude. We're headed back. Finally get what you want. think we're at 5 miles. 1 mile to go. And the person posed the question, what if you were taking something that made you feel a whole lot better, your life's better, and then all of a sudden Ironman or Challenge, WADA, World Anti-Doping Association, banned it. And I said, you're losing the point. No one is making you race drug and anti-drug enforced events. So my answer is I wouldn't, and this has happened to me. I took some medicine for something like 10 years ago that was on the banned list. And while I was on it, I didn't race events that were anti-drug sanctioned. And I didn't even race stuff where I'd be at the pointy end. I just kind of just did fun stuff. So people are confused, thinking they have to do Ironmans. It's like, no, dude, you don't have to do anything. You're choosing to do Ironmans while doping, quote unquote. Let's go do something else. And then upon further thought, there was something even more interesting. And it was if you're in bad enough shape where you need to take drugs to get you back to normal, then what are you doing racing events that, in the case of Ironmans, is recognized as like the world's hardest event? So by definition, the fact that you're taking stuff means something in your life isn't right. And to put yourself through that stress on an artificial aid, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, that's really dangerous. And of course, the whole thing where you're taking away from people spots that are going out of their way not to dope. Somebody commented, well, boy, there's going to be a whole lot of people that all of a sudden are quote unquote injured and can't race for Challenge Raw because they don't want to get tested because they're on stuff. Making sure nobody's coming behind.